Welcome to the live session. Pretty big day coming up in 20 minutes. Hello traders, welcome back to the live session here. We can see that coming up in a couple of minutes, almost in a row, 5 news. That might make the market really pretty volatile at the moment. So come on, I didn't turn that off. So we can see the market here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 news coming later today in just a matter of 20 minutes. So what we can see here in that zone, core PPI, retail sales, PPI, retail sales, all of them market mover. Especially I would look at the unemployment claims, which is big one, because this is where the inflation and all of the DXY strength will depend on this news a lot. So we will be looking at one by one, and then Paul will speak later after 10 minutes. So let's look at the market, both gold as well as dollar yen and GBP JPY. So GBP JPY as well potentially can give us an entry here. You can see this instrument. Also we saw there was a break of structure, and the market again started to drop back below here. So first we will be looking at Xauusd. As we saw, there was a after this early Asian session, there was a big move on daily, and after this daily move, so far from here there is a big rejection to the upside. Now with the news, there is a probability for what I think that the price may revert back again. What do you think? It's gonna revert back or pushing back to the upside? Let's understand it from the multi-time frame here. First of all, as you know, multi-time frame, higher time frame will give you clear direction, removing all the noise from the lower time frame. So you can look at here monthly chart. Let's do a full analysis before the news. Before I do the full analysis, I would like to see full members are here. Everyone, thank you very much. Francisco, good day. Hey everyone, thank you. Patrick, welcome. So I would like to start the analysis, but you know, some of the members, I don't see that everyone every day joining here. So if you guys are here, say write Y, that I know that you are here. If you are not here, then you can write no, though you know, if you are not here, even you don't have to write the no, isn't it? You are not here. But if you are here, you can write yes. Thank you. Welcome. Well done, thank you. Yeah, make the chat rolling. Say yes, well done. And that yes is always positive and optimistic approach. Thank you very much. Welcome. Big number, very good. Well done. And at the same time, smash the like button now. All right, cool. That's a big one. Thanks for confirming. Yes, you're driving, so be very careful. Okay, life first. I would recommend to turn off and then wait until you reach, or go to the park and then watch. No problem if you miss one live session, even one trade missing, that's okay. So let's look at, first of all, here looking at in this area here. So what we can see, that from the monthly, this is a long-term bull market. We can see that with this inverted head and shoulder, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, we may see deeper pullback. What I think that, you know, there is a pattern here, guys. If you look at that pattern, you know, pattern is a lot to think about, right? Pattern is everything. You'll see pattern is everywhere, right? You'll see that there is a pattern in nature, right? So you'll see that sunflower is a pattern, right? It's a circular pattern. If you look at the galaxy, and there is a similarities between the galaxy and the sunflower. And also if you take the, what I call the X-ray of the brain, you'll see a galaxy inside, which is the microcosm, right? So what is above is also inside us, right? So which is just mirroring at different scales. So that's a pattern that repeats over and over again, and at the end of the day, everything is pattern, right? So, and pattern is everywhere. In thinking also there is a pattern, right? So according to science, 90% of our thinking is repetitive. That means that what you have thought yesterday is also 9 out of 10 we are thinking today. And that's why the market also has a pattern. So if you can understand the pattern, then you can easily become a trader. You don't need a lot of things to become a trader. So there is always a pattern in everything. So once you recognize that pattern, you start to see, so predict what is happening next. Because if you look at circle equal triangle, and then if you put circle equal, and you know that there will be a triangle here. So that's pattern, very simplest way to understand. So the market also has, you'll see that more often we leave a clue, there will be a pattern here. And that pattern, that if you look at in this monthly impulse, there is a pattern here. Let's understand that what it is. Now with this inverted head and shoulder, you can see that there is a breakout from the inverted head and shoulder. Now with that breakout, if you look at, right, so this is the breakout and then pullback. See the nature of the pullback. Now the first one is very smaller. The second one is a little higher than the third one, right? Second one. So this one is longer than this one. Now that entails that this one could be longer than this one. That means this one might even come back here for a breakout structure. So that's the pattern, right? So therefore the probability for bearish from the monthly is higher than the weekly. Let's look at the weekly chart here. Now if we look at the weekly, we can see that there is a structure formation here. We saw there was a series of lower high here, the market slowly breaking below with a bear candle. This is the weekly price. We still have almost 2-3 weeks nearly there. This weekly candle so far, we saw there was a breakout structure, completely break below. Therefore now there are two probability is to pull back to the upside, but I think that, you know, I could be wrong. Anyone can be wrong in trading. If you agree with me, give a thumbs up. It's okay to be wrong. The more the successful trader, they are more often wrong, but that's okay to be wrong. But because when you understand it, you become more and more right in your approach. So let's look at here in this weekly perspective here with a big long red candle from the weekly, and because it's breaking below here, so you can see that in this area, that's where the with the market, the price is broken below from this weekly neckline, expecting from the weekly for the market to drop potentially below. So we could see that there is a possibility for the market to trend back down here. Looking at the daily, here is the daily market. We can see there is a daily doji formation, and with the daily doji, this is a daily bearish move, followed by, we can see that there is a smaller daily bull reaction, another drop, another very smaller bull reaction. Now we can see another bullish candle. So there is a pattern here as well. Bigger bearish move, smaller bull, again bigger bearish move, smaller bull, bigger bearish move, and we may see this one as the price below the support. As the market, it's almost, we can see that nearly to the half day the price has dropped to that level, bounce back to the upside. Let's look at now here as coming up in 10 minutes time the news. So for me, if we see that this green move from the 1 hour going straight back to this resistance here, we may see potential short-term rejection here. So for the time being, we still could see that bullish move. This is an important key level here, which is an important level of resistance on XAUSD. And with that resistance, what you can expect for the market to potentially trend back up here in that area, and then to return back down in the major direction of the trend. So this is where we're waiting for this market to potentially go back up here to retest and then to return back again in the major direction of the trend. So this is where currently we see that with this news we can expect a spike to 100 pip, 100 and even 50 pip, and that spike can give a probability for the market to potentially drop again, as we see that from the daily. If you look at the daily here, you can see this is the daily candlestick pattern, which is pretty big bounce here. We see that early with the market open, it dropped almost to 580 pip and then returned back again 580 pip. Now it almost circa 720 pip up has gone up. Now this is today's high. If we look at the today's high here, and this is the daily high here. So if we see the market has tested the daily high, which is highly likely, we could see the price to go ahead and test the daily high. So once we see the market has tested the daily high, from there we can look for potentially selling in this market. So waiting for that opportunity on Xauusd for the price to go ahead, retest, and then to return again in the direction of the trend. I hope that you guys enjoying the live session like we are doing every day, have understood the analysis. Thank you. I'm always here. Thanks for joining. Hello, welcome, good afternoon. Thank you. Agree. I think we will bounce further a little to grab liquidity and drop potentially. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there is a, because if you guys look at it, you can see there is a double bottom here, and with this double bottom, or we can say this is an inverted head and shoulder with the double bottom, it's now trending, and with that being trend for this market to potentially go back up, grab those liquidity, and then to return back again. So even if this market wants to remain bullish, but I think there is a probability for this price to come back here in this area. So that might be that the market to potentially or to drop even further for neckline retest if it wants to trend back up again, and that's the zone that we can look for potential trading opportunity in this market. So here is what we can see, that this is a long wick, there's another long wick. So, and as the market was forming series of lower high, you see that whenever the price has broken that series of lower high here, the big drop happen. Now as again we can see the market is potentially pushing back up again to that level, and from there we can expect it to revert back again in this direction of the trend. So this is where we'll be will not be enter at the level. First you would like to see the spike up to cross that high, and once we see the market is rejecting, that's where we will be entering into the trade. Thank you, and yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining the live session. Absolutely appreciate. Let's look at here on the lower time frame what kind of opportunity you might have on also in GBP JPY. This instrument is, we may see potential entry. Let's keep two windows here, one for Xauusd. We might see an opportunity on GJ here as well. So with the GBPJPY, So let's look at here on GJ. Now looking at GBP JPY. Now looking at GBP JPY here, what you can see that looking at the daily chart, GJ is highly bearish at the moment. You see there is a drop as we expected, and with the drop GBP JPY has come back to that support, and with this support test on GJ, what you can see that from the 4-hour chart here, this is after back-to-back two doji formation, the market drop with another doji, and it is breaking below here on GJ. So this is the 4-hour candle, which is after multiple series of lower high. GBP JPY started to drop here in the direction. So there is a probability for GJ for the market to potentially trend down. As if we look at the 15 minutes, we can see that this is the 15 minutes price action, where a big drop followed by multiple long wick candle here. And because the market is in a multiple long wick rejection, we could see the GJ potentially to return again back to the downside. If we look at the 1 hour and on the 4-hour candle closing in a couple of minutes, so we will keep that one on watch here on the watch list for possible break below in GBP JPY, and we may see that this market to trend back down here to this support level. So let's see where it is heading to. This is the support on GJ, but I think that with the 4-hour close, we would like to see a lower time frame liquidity gap in that area for this sell here on GJ. So let's look at here. We'll keep that GBP JPY on the side list, and if lucrative opportunity comes, so you will be entering into the trade. Here is what we can see that on XAUUSD. That's where you can see on XAUUSD. This is where there is a double bottom and the market is trending, and we may see that this market potentially to trend here to break that high and then to revert back again towards the downside. Thank you. So here is what we can see. If we look at the overall picture from the long term, to give a little bit of space here. I hope that the stream is going well. I saw there is a little bit of buffering. Guys, can you hear me? Can you say in zone number as screen not visible? I didn't understand your question. Looks and sound good. Thank you very much. Davis, welcome. All right, so here is on XAUSD along with GBPJPY. We this is currently in a downtrend on GBPJPY, but if we see the market has managed to cross that high, that's what we will be looking for entry in this market. So we can see the price is approaching that resistance line where we will be entering into the trade. So here is on XAUSD that we can see the market is approaching that resistance line, and with that resistance, the daily level that we can see from the daily, the market is approaching the daily level. So we have the data has come out. Let's see what's happening with that. There isn't significant movement yet. So why there isn't big spike yet? So what the has come out to be unemployment claims flat, didn't change. Retail sales improvement, PPI dropped here, core PPI also dropped, core retail sales dropped. So these are the sign of inflation, and retail sales increase a little bit. Unemployment change remain flat. So what kind of reaction with the DXY? Now, as you can see, it's reflecting as a bearish on DXY. Is because of the whenever the data coming negative on DXY on dollar, it normally try to remain bearish. Is because of the weakness, right? So inflation is the #1 problem, because whenever the inflation, dollar can be printed, isn't it? So to mitigate that, so basically it's devaluating the dollar, and when it devaluating, what's happening? Ultimately, you have $1,000. You're still counting $1,000, but it became $900, right? So that's inflation. It's simple, right? Because today you bought one burger with $10. Tomorrow you bought with $12. The same burger, but you paid more, is because that's inflation, right? So it's because of the devaluation of the currency, and that is why you'll see that whenever dollar drops, gold goes high, is because it's safe haven. So the investment goes to the, because dollar can be printed but gold cannot be printed, right? It's always remain flat. So that's why when dollar dropping, whenever there is a crisis or there is an economic uncertainty, gold price goes higher. And so that's why fundamental, that is fundamental, right? So now, as a short-term trader, we mostly need to look at the technical, but the fundamental, when we see the news being released, we have an idea about, especially the market movement, the market prepare for bigger move. We have more volume in the market. So let's go back to XAUSD here. As we discussed, the market is in fact going back to that level. As in 5 minutes, Paul will speak, the market should have some increased volatility in that area. So with that being said, what we can see, the market is now here approaching that level, approaching that key level here. So we can see the market is going back there, and with that break, what we could see that the market too potentially, let's see how it is reacting to that level, and then based on that we can look for short term if we see enough reversal confirmation. I'm looking at the 1 minute chart here now, because the market is already made a big move since mid Asian session. So early we saw that in the first session of the Asian market there was a big drop, complete drop, and then complete again rejection back to the upside here. So crossing this high here, 3193 level, is in fact an important milestone here for this market to go up. And then to, if you look at the weekly, it's almost going back to that level. So from the daily also going back to the upside is an important price action here. So we'll keep eye in that area for possible rejection. Also guys, share your opinion about the current fundamental. What do you think that yes, no buffering today. Thank you. DXY dropped. Good morning. Thank you. What's your view on this one? On if you look at that on with the data, what do you think that from the market and from the news, what's your view on DXY and gold? Do you think that it's the data is impacting DXY? You know, when we discuss more, then we understand actually the fundamental movement in the market. And also, how do the news, that high impact news that we see, in fact, in an essence, in a real sense, how does that, as a day trader or a scalper, how much it is important to you, and how we can use that information? I'm going to tell you today guys exact way the smart money or the professional price action trader uses this data. It's not the value of the data, it's the information in relation to the price action. This will change the way you look at the market. So make sure you take notes. Let's understand. Gold will go up, bounce back then. Yes, so you see that here. All right, so let's look at here on the news, okay, and the data, how it normally we can use in the short-term trading. Because if you look at the information here, all right, so you can see 229k unemployment claims. The forecast was 229k, right? So now what if this one came? We saw that more often there is a deficiency. If it is came at 220k or maybe 250k, how does that impact the overall market? How we can use in our trading? Now, you know, observation is key, as I mentioned earlier as well. One very important point, guys, you need to keep in mind is that this data that we see, when they come out, actually they loses their influence in the market. So what do I mean by this? When they are released, right? They are visible in the market. But the actual movement happened before those data came out in the market. You'll see that when there is a news, even NFP, CPI, or any news, the market shows the actual movement around 24 to 48 hours earlier. That is key. And if you look at here, okay, so you can see that this data, because of those data, the market had that big move here. And it happens in all instrument. You'll see that when there is a JPY, there is a news on JPY. If the news is coming in Tokyo session, you see the market will have a big move in early Asian session or in Asian session, even before anything coming out in the market. And that's where the opportunity comes, because price action will always leave a clue. So that's why we can relate the price action, because before, when there will be data like that, big news, the market will have a clean trend. See, when we have the clean trend, we can reference to that certain future information coming in the market. Try to understand, guys, what I'm saying. So if you look at here, what do you see? That this candle, this is the 1 hour, right? So this 1 hour candle, this is Asian session's first candle, right? And then see this move here, it's a clean bearish impulse here, right? So this is the first session's candle, and then till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, the market dropped without any pullback. It was a clean bearish move. But now, just as data has come out, so this move is this move and also this move, all of this a response of the data in the market. So, and then you see that it just has got back to the upside, and these are the information that we can use based on data. You'll see that instead of looking at the actual value or the outcome, we can look at the event. So when there is an event, despite of, because those information, this insider information, is impossible for us as a trader to know when we can't know it. But despite of having the information, we know that there is an event. And when there is an event, there is a trend. And that trend has a higher probability for opportunity. I hope that you guys are understanding it. Let me know if you have any question. So as you can see, when the data has come out, the market didn't move much. You see, in that area, there isn't much movement. But the move happened before the information. So that means we need to look at the move in reference to the future events coming. And then we can take those trade and rely on this price action, because there is a event coming. And that's what we need to look at as a trader, to see potential opportunity and then take it whenever it is arising. Thank you. Waiting for an entry in any of this. Now XAUSD, you can see in this area, this is 15 minutes price action. There is a primary rejection from the top, but it's still probability for another potential bounce here to the upside, to retest this resistance and also this resistance, and then to return back again in the direction. So waiting for that move back to the upside, we can see from the 1 hour it's trying to approach that key level, and from the daily, which is a very strong bullish move back to the upside here, and looking at that one here, we can see the market is in this move. Waiting for a setup and looking at further. In my eyes, gold will go up, bounce up, then ultimately in the upcoming days we expect gold to drop further under 3000 level. From the weekly, now how the candlestick closing is also important, because weekly close is very important. The probability for further downside is higher, but at the same time it's a long time historically bull market. If you look at here the daily, I'm not looking at monthly, weekly, too long. Instead we are looking at the daily, and with the daily price action that we can see from here, it's a drop, and with the drop from this level we can see that this is a big drop here, and here with this drop what we can see, this is a daily so far move back to the upside. Now how the price is reacting today's high is a very important price action that we need to look at. Now what I think, that if the market is not breaking below today, instead staying in a bit lower range, then we may see that from the daily we may see the market to cross this high and then to drop again tomorrow or the last day of trading week. So that is why we are looking at to see how the market is reacting to that resistance line. Let's look at what's happening with GBPJPY. We can see there is a bounce before the candle close. That might be, if you look at the weekly, we can see a bounce. So because it's a big bounce, we'll be waiting to see what's happening. Let's keep eye on gold here. Now this is above this 4-hour resistance where there is a liquidity gap. So because there is you can see it's a big move, and with this move, if you guys look at it, you can see it's a big move, and we may see the market to go up here to grab that liquidity and then to return back again. So that is what, because it was a clean one move and going back up again can give another probability for downside here. So looking from that angle, we'll be looking to see that the market to potentially retest and then to revert back again. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Where did you learn all this, sir? Yourself or learn from someone else? Or you studied? How did you do it? That's a very fundamental question. There are many ways learning has come, okay, and it's the way it is, right? Think about, if we look at the first day you went to the school, you didn't know anything, right? The mentor has to teach you how to write the letters A and B, and then over time you started to learn, and then you became curious, and then you started to learn, right? So to learn, the first step is to become curious. Especially in trading, you see that there are a lot of research on traders to what kind of people become good in trading. Okay, so according to research is that the intellectual curiosity makes good trader. So you have to be, the first step is to be curious about. Now what makes curious is when you ask questions, why this happening, why the market moves like that, why the price is rejecting from that level that far. So we see that there are some candlestick pattern, but if you ask question, you will find a lot of question that you need to ask, or you can ask here in the chart. What question you can ask? You might say, okay, I don't see any question, but if you try to analyze the chart, then you'll see that questions. For example, why there is a double bottom here, right? One question. And why this double bottom has a leg up than the other one, right? So there are two kinds of double bottom. One is you'll see the flat. There's another one you see that like that, and you might see some double bottom like this, right? So how do you identify them, and why it is important to know, and how you can use that kind of shape in your trading? So you can see a lot of question you can ask. You can ask about the 10 EMA, 20 EMA, right? And why those candles form that doji, and why this, if you interestingly look at here, this is 15 minutes candlestick pattern, but there is a smooth trend line here, right? You see exactly to the point this trend line. So why all those candles form in such a smooth line in one direction, right? So this is another important question, right? And then the market moved from that level. So these are some very important questions that to be asked to do good in trading, to become better as a trader. So, and then spending a lot of time in front of the charts. Observation is key. Okay, so when you observe, you started to see differently. I need spending time in front of the chart is very important. Okay, so now here is what we can see in this area on GBPJPY. Let's look at what it is doing. We saw there was a bounce and then a retreat from the 1 hour. On GJ here we can see so GBPJPY. If we look at here, this is 1 hour price action. There is a liquidity grab. If we look at the 4 hour and the daily, I'll still be leaving it here because there is a bounce. It might try to break that high again, or it may continue to drop. We'll keep eye on gold here, say USD, as it's approaching that key level in that area. And with this movement on gold approaching that key level, so we see the market is pushing back up here to the resistance, and once we see the price has, so it's approaching that key level, we're wanting to see that it's going back exactly to that level. And this is the 1 minute chart. Once we see the price started to return back, we will be entering into the trade. So this is the neckline. So waiting for that for the price to penetrate that level. Waiting on here on GJ with this candle close is pushing down here in that area. We may see that short-term drop in that zone. And looking at here on Xauusd with this doji, we may see the market would like to see that's breaking above here and then returning back down with another momentum. Thank you. And we can see some pushing to the upside, which is would like to see that it has broken that key level, and patience is key. Once we see the market prepared, then we will be able to, the market always will show its hand. Once you see that the price has prepared, you see that reflection in the market of this kind of price action. Waiting for possible retest of the key level, and then once we see the price is getting rejection from that key level, from this level, we will be using pending order for that potential drop in that area. Okay, so it's approaching that key level, and with that key level that we can see in this area, that the market we may see the price to potentially retest and then to revert back in that area. And okay, so almost nearing to that level, we could look for sell entry at the moment in that area, but I will be a little bit of patient here because it's showing still. You can see this is this 1 minute candlestick pattern that we can see. It's a liquidity grab here, and it may try to break that high and then could have one stronger bounce to the upside before it come back down here. Looking for entry. To place sell stop, because we would like to enter once we see the market has dropped, has done enough penetration has done enough liquidity grab. That's where we will be looking for the entry here. So approaching that key level here, and with that key level, so you can see the market is moving near to that level. And if we look at the 1 hour pricing, it's a complete bounce. Therefore, if we look at in that area, so we can see that now to enter, I would prefer sell stop if we look at in that area. And from the daily, let's identify the daily support area here. So if you look at, this is the daily support, and in the daily support, it's almost 90 pip from this level. So what we'll be doing here, placing sell stop below this price action here, and stop loss will be above this high with potential drop to the daily low here. Now this is a sell stop. If the market revert back, we will be on the trade. If we need to readjust the trade, we can do that. So this is the sell stop here in this area on Xauusd, and it will be placing in that area once the market has managed to break below. Sell stop here on Xauusd. $3187.31 stop loss. So it just has broken above. Now stop loss at 3193.26. TP at 3178.16, and this is a sell stop. If the market return back down, we are on the trade. So place the sell stop here, and we may see that potential So place the pending order here. Let's see, we see the primarily the market as expected has got that rejection from the top. Now if that rejection is break of structure or trend continuation. Okay, from here we try to trend back. So we can see a little upside in that area, and at the moment what we can expect, it is still maintaining the trend continuation, so it's a bull market. We'll be waiting for that breakout structure. If the market is trending continuously to the upside, we'll keep looking to see where the price potentially be heading depending on how the market is doing. Looking at daily, we see that there is a significant bullish price action here, and so far there is no clear sign of bearish. So we see that after break of this structure, the market managed to move back up. So from the 4 hour, if we look at, this is the previous swing low. We might need to readjust our pending order because the market is still maintaining that bullish trend, and it's already overextended in one direction. So I think there could be a rejection at the moment or later. So here we'll be closing the pending order because it didn't break below, instead has broken out. So we are out of the pending order. We'll be waiting for another entry. So close the pending order, and here until we see a change of trend, we'll be waiting for possible entry. If we look at 30 minutes, 15 minutes, also a huge bullish impulse in that area. Looking at the 5 minutes price action, now once we see a proper reversal pattern, we will be looking to enter either by market or by pending order. It may not drop directly without creating a clean reversal confirmation in that area. This is 15 minutes. 5 minutes, there is a doji. Okay, I think there might be bearish pressure here. Slowly we'll be placing a sell stop in that area. Stop loss above this high. Sell stop here with 63 pips stop loss. TP target to this level. Sell stop at 3193 level. $3193.88. Stop at 3200.07. TP target at 3181.98 with a very tight risk. So place the sell stop here on XAUSD in that area, and So approaching the 30 minutes here, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. So 5 minutes candle, if it is not being able to form stronger bullish impulse, we may see the market to return down. I'm looking at the 5 minutes candle here, and now if breaks below, then we will be on the trade. Now it is still can push back to the upside, as there is a gap here, and in that case we will not be on the trade. Yeah, there is a probability for a drop here. So if one more drop, we will be on the trade here on XAUSD. Place the pending order here, sell stop. So we place the sell stop at 3194, 3193.91. And also guys, like every day from this live session, also one lucky winner will be able to join the academy with $500 worth of coupon to join the academy to become a lifetime member. So at the end of the session, so like for those who will be till the end, will have access to the giveaway competition for one lucky winner to join the academy to become a lifetime member. So make sure guys you stick till the end. And also if you want to explore more about the mentorship program, also you can find link below this video in the description. You can visit the website www.forextradingwizard.com. while you are looking at XAUSD to see potential break below here. As with this price here, we might see, if it breaks again, we might see that trigger of the trade. Yep, so the trade is active now, and would like to see that drop. So XAUSD active. Running, and I hope that you guys can hear me. Let's look for this market to see if we see that potential break below, and we can see some peep improvement here. So like to catch at least 200 pips. So if we drop here to this support, it's gonna be almost, if it leads to this level, we get almost 118 pip. So you see the market is moving in the direction that we expected. Getting a rejection from this support. So the trade is still moving in our favor, and I think there is a still probability to continue to drop. If you guys enjoying the live session, make sure you give a thumbs up, and also you can stay connected by joining the Telegram channel, where I do share many of the ideas, trade ideas, content, as well as the live analysis that you can find every day that I'm posting in the free Telegram. So the link also below this video. I can share with you the link in the live chat. So free Telegram is here that I have shared with you. If you guys can click and join there to stay up to date. There are a lot of promotions in that channel. My opinion not going to come back. TP, yeah. At what point did you enter the sell? Of course, profitable. Not only me, most of the members in the academy. Currently we have two kinds of trading in the academy. Okay, day trading as well as AI trading, which is currently at the top. So of course, TP so much. Thank you very much. At what point did you enter the sell? Kindly help. So we have entered the sell on the breakout structure from the 5 minutes chart. If you look at what you can see here, 15 minutes. Look at the 5 minutes. Here is you can see it's a slender move. That means that one single bounce to the key level. So the chance for this kind of structure to break is higher. So you can see as a result, the market started to drop from that level. So, and expecting it to continue to the direction of the trend, to move in the direction of the trend, unless it's trying to grab more liquidity. But I think there is a probability for further downside to the support level, and if it dropped to 3181.98, that's where you will be able to see that the market to come down here. And another, that very important aspect of trading, guys, many of the traders get it wrong, is there are many ways a trader can become profitable as a trader. Okay, so this is to understand that, especially beginner trader find it very difficult in the beginning to understand it. How many trade you win or how many trade you lose will not determine you to become profitable or no. I'm repeating again. How many trade you win or how many trade you lose will not determine either you become profitable or no. Imagine that you have a strategy that win rate is 95%, or let's say be practical, that we have normally is 80% win rate, right? So what does that mean? It means that you win, if we take 10 trades as an example with 80% win rate, you win 8 trades and you lose 2 trades out of 10, so it's maintaining 80% win rate. Now let's say that you have 2 strategies, one like that. In another strategy you use, for example, that has only 20% win rate. Okay, only 20% win rate. You see, this is what you need to understand as a trader. Now, even 10% win rate, it could happen that even you will be making more profit in some situation with 20% win rate than 80% win rate. So it's not about how many trades you win, it's about how you win. So each trade that you open, so here what we see, there is a doji, and so to see here, this trade that we have opened, so with the double bottom here, okay, drop back down again. So this trade, we can see there is a bounce, and we saw there was a significant profit running and then revert back up. So you'll be coming for this trade at entry, as you will not be running the trade much longer. First, we would like to see that it's coming to the entry, as we see there is a bounce, but it's still running in. Once the market drop to near our entry or at entry, we will be going out with the trade, which is now at entry. So I am exiting the trade at break even. I'm going out with the trade, with this trade as it's a break even trade, just 1 or 2 pip down, but that's completely fine. We'll be re-entering. It didn't work out as expected. And it may drop down again, or it may push back up again. So it became invalid. I am out with the trade. We will be re-entering as soon as we are finding that further entry. Okay, so it may drop down, but it became invalid because of the bounce here that it made. So it's a break even. We will be readjusting again another entry. We got guess. Okay, now we are looking to see, if you look at here, you can see this is a it's in a consolidation at the moment. But you can see, let's delete those lines here and waiting for, now this is 30 minutes. One hour again, looking at 4 hour. This 4 hour candle that you can see, it's a complete bounce on the daily as well. Therefore, if we look at the 5 minutes, so the 15 minutes candlestick pattern were bearish. In the last moment, it has broken below now, and all right, so in this area here, after break of this low, it's now trying to pull back. Looking at the 15 minutes, Here is from the support level. Now this is the price action here is very interesting in that area, as it may continue to trend back up, or it may again return back down, depending on, this is the 30-minute candle. You can see now how the 30-minute candle closing also is very important to look at, because if 30 minutes closing as a doji, what I think that the bulls may not find a very strong momentum. Instead, we might see further downside, as there is a 1 hour candle close also coming, and this is a big bull move so far. With that big bull move, the market may try to come down again here. And you can see here after this doji, it's again consolidating in that area. And when we see this kind of price action in an uptrend, there are probability for a change of trend, because when the market changes trend, it goes for some time an extended consolidation for this potential change in trend. Looking at again the 1 minute, so if we look at the 4 hour here, we can see this is also the 4 hour candle closing, and potentially it is building momentum for breakout or to move sideways. Looking at the 1 hour 30 minutes, so 30 minutes candle is a doji in this area, and with this 30 minutes doji, If this one is closing as a red candle, then we may see that possibly further downside, or if it in the last, it still have 6 minutes to go, but if it is closing above as a bull candle, the potential for trend continuation is higher. So looking at the 1 hour here and the daily, so if you look at the daily, support is here, and from the 4 hour we can see that potentially bullish trend, and because it's in a potentially bullish trend here, with this double bottom, the market slowly pushing back up. So depending on how the candle close, we may see trend continuation if we see the price on the lower time frame showing like this a long wick rejection. This was the Suleiman longest time zone. What do you mean? It's crypto. Now, with that being said here, now this is the 4 hour close coming. So far, the way the market was heading, it still can remain bullish, or it can change trend depending on now after the candle close how the price action is forming, because if it change the trend, we can see that it's dropping again to the support level. But I think what it might do is for the price to go one more bounce and then to come back again. So looking at the weekly here, this is the weekly level, the weekly support, and daily in the same way. Here we can see the market in this area, big trend line. we'll be waiting to see that the market to create that structure here, and looking at so with the 30 minutes we saw there is a doji, and that is where the possibility for if you look at it, you can see it's a doji, so it may still could move back to the upside with a bounce back. 4 hour closed, we can see also there is a long wick, and so with the 4 hour close we can see the market trying to break below and looking for an entry in that area. There is a long wick here, this is a trend line that we can see here in that area, and also you see this is a very narrow consolidation, and in this kind of consolidation you might find it very difficult to predict. That is why we are waiting to see that directional bias. You can see a broken below, return back up again, and it's still showing a possible up and down. Once we see the directionally correct, we can look for a proper entry here in that market. The key here is to wait for patiently. Patience is key. Alright guys, hope that you're enjoying the live session. Make sure you give a thumbs up. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the patience is key here. Now 4 hour, again looking at with this candle close on the intraday. Still, I wouldn't consider it as a reversal confirmation here. Rather, I would consider it. If you look at here, you can see it's forming a very interesting structure in that area, and the main goal here, main focus is learning. We can see early today there was, in the whole session, there was a big drop on the Asian session and then return back up. Now with the daily price action here, the market is with this daily candlestick pattern, it may, what I think, potentially move sideways, and we could see even a daily close as a potentially as a doji, and then as we can coming tomorrow the market to cross the high and then to return back down again. So there is a fair value gap here. So as the market is crossing that level, if we look at this resistance line here with this resistance which is turning support here, so if we look at the resistance here which is turning support here, and also this is another support, and so if we identify those levels, this is a fair value gap. So there might be, as we have seen on the 4 hour, that there is a possibility for another upside to 20 EMA level here. So from that point of view, if we look at the 5 minutes, now you can see this is the lower time frame here, and that is where there is a fair value gap, which is a big fair value gap here. In that area, with this fair value gap, there is a big move possible in that direction on the lower time frame. So for us, for entry on the lower time frame, 15 minutes to look at here, this is, here is a fair value gap. That means that there is no only seller, it was not balanced by a buyer. So 5 minutes close. Let's see the next candle, if it is first coming for pullback. And then to trend again. Just pushed back to the upside here. GBPJPY has dropped from that level that we discussed. Gold is pushing back up, and so on gold we can see potentially 100 pip move back to the upside, and I think best way to a little, because the long-term trend, if we look at the daily, was bearish. Now it just has got a new bullish trend, and it might be little a little risky to buy from top, as it may continue to rise, but we might see that pullback here in that area deeper. So still not entering, just to see possible risk reward here if we buy from the top. It even can come down from that level to drop. So We'll be placing a buy stop here in that area and stop loss below the swing low. TP target to the 20 EMA of the 4-hour time frame. So if the market cross that high, we will be entering into the trade 3207.07, which is buy stop. So 3207.07, stop at 3201.83, and TP at 3214.60. 3214.60. Now if it continue to drop, then we will see that we'll see it might be dropping. So we place the pending order here at 3207.07 for this possible upside move. So if it wants to continue to do the trend, we could see that the market to go back up. Place the buy stop here on Xauusd. Now we place buy stop after the previous one break even. If this, as it is forming a very smaller candles here, expecting it to break above, it may, if it breaks below, then we might see liquidity grab and to bounce again in the direction of the trend. And also at the end of the session, there will be competition for a giveaway to one $500 coupon will be available for you to join the academy. So stick till the end of this live session to stay in that giveaway. Now here we can see there is a bounce, so expecting it to move back up to trend continuation to the upside. Waiting for that trigger of the entry. We're nearing to the trigger. Didn't enter yet with me. Has anyone got active? Mine didn't active. This is demand level. Look. So GBPJPY have after a false breakout, it dropped a lot. And if we look at the GBPJPY from the intraday, from the 4 hour, you can see from here it's dropped back below, and it may remain bearish on GJ or sideways. Gold trade might get active very soon. Why it's not triggering yet with me? Yeah, got active. So the gold trade got triggered. It's active now, and welcome. It might go. Gold looking for to see so far upside. We are on the trade, and right, gold here we would like to see that potential breakout. So if it is clearly moving back to the upside, where would like to see a breakout here, then we might see the market to potentially to trend up. So there's a bearish engulfer that got a bearish price action here, and it failed to create a higher high. Just has broken below. That's a false breakout, and that's the market does that. We have this is a complete false breakout, so that might be a potential change of trend. Let's wait to see why it has broken below. So there might be so you can see that from this level the market has broken below, and 4-hour chart here, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and the 1 minute. In this area, it just has crossed that low. Just took it out of the trade and then started to bounce back up. This market may potentially prepare for a drop to this support. Now look for a potential reversal. Okay, I will be opening sell here, guys. Again, stop loss above this high. It's a market sell order with a 52 pip stop loss. TP target to this level with 221, and for this potential move with only very tight risk. For bigger account I take 0.25%, for medium size account 1%. So stop loss here, TP target here, will be explaining later. So this is where the market is consolidating, potential for a downside here. So placed a sell here, and it's a reversal, possible reversal trade. Now it may get success, may not, with a full risk managed trade. So it has a higher reward. So if it breaks below, as the market has got overextended, we may see coming back to this support level here. So this is a sell trade by market that I have opened on Xauusd, and expecting that the market to come down here to this support level. With the previous trade, so we have 50 pip minus the previous trade. Now this trade, if it drops fully here, we'll be able to see that the market to come down to completely break below. Okay, so we will be holding it for the if the market breaking from this support, there is a big fair value gap here, and that might bring that price back to the support. So you see this trade running in the direction. So you guys running this trade here. So if we look at the 1 minute, here there is a consolidation, and be holding it for, because the market has crossed that high, there is a probability for a little deeper pullback here, and we are at entry, and to look at either we will be running or call closing at profit, as It's pushing back again. So have entered into okay, so I will be exiting this trade as well at entry as with the break even, as again it's potentially trying to push back to the upside, so we will not be running as we are currently little profit, and with that profit I am exiting the trade, this one with the running profit, and we will be looking at the market to see again setup as so we are exiting the trade with the running profit. It may come down, or it may again forming an inverted head and shoulder to remain bullish. It's not showing that very strong downtrend. We are out with the trade, and 2 break even, 1 L, and we'll look forward tomorrow coming up another live session to see further better entry opportunity. And in the meantime, we'll look for a giveaway that we discussed in the beginning of the session for a $500 coupon to win, to join the academy with a keyword gold. Here you guys can write that keyword gold to enter into the competition. So its keyword is gold, and you can write here to enter for the pool for entry to the academy, a lifetime access coupon of $500. Thank you. So you can here is the in the live chat. Yep, you guys can write that. Greeting everyone to participate in the competition for giveaway to a $500 coupon to access to the academy for lifetime, including courses, regular trade updates, as well as tools, strategies. And you can write that keyword. We have only 1 minute left to roll over to that, for rolling to that so you can you just can write gold, not keyword, just gold, and with that keyword you will be in the competition, and then we're going to roll over soon within 1 minute, as we are late in our live today. And so you guys can write that live in the live chat. And so I'm going to roll over here Hridaya Das. For those who couldn't enter in the competition, tomorrow you can wait for next one coming up, Hridaya Das. You can go to the website, you can find link below this video, use contact us page to let us know that you have won the today's giveaway, and you will be sent the package in your email. So with that said, thank you for joining this live session. I will see you again in another live tomorrow coming up. Until that, stay well, stay happy.